Hi everybody, Mark Ullman with MD Web Pro back for another Medical Marketing Monday, and today we're going to talk about a topic which is critical to an effective inbound marketing campaign, and that is lead scoring. For those of you who don't know what lead scoring is, today we're going to give a little overview on what goes into an effective lead scoring system and why you would want to have one in place. So to begin, let's talk a little bit about the problem that exists with a lot of websites. Once you have a good website set up, maybe you're running some AdWords campaigns or you're getting rankings for some search phrases, and you're driving traffic to that site, and you're even converting some of that traffic into first names, last names, email addresses, and other profile information. A lot of clinics run into the problem of what to do with all the leads. They end up with, they gain 50 leads in month 1, another 50 to 100 in month 2, 50 to 100 in month 3, and all of a sudden there's a pile of leads. Each of them are at different stages in the buying cycle. Some of them provided worthless data, some of them provided great data, and how do you know what to do with all those leads? Now, a lot of clinics simply dump them into their email database and they send them a newsletter which isn't targeted towards the product or service the person was interested in, and those newsletters tend to have diminishing returns over time with high unsubscribe rates. So what we see is we have this problem. We end up with too many leads, and not really too many leads, but too many leads that we aren't using effectively. We're not segmenting them out based on where they are in the buying cycle. Are they even thinking about purchasing, or are they simply looking for information? Are they in our area? Could they possibly buy for us, or are they in Australia? Are they the right age group, or are they simply a kid looking on the website? We need to know this information so we can market to them correctly. And what happens when we don't do that is we get poor conversions from our email campaigns. People aren't clicking through because we're not sending them the right message, and that results in a low return on investment and high unsubscribe rate from our email list. Now, one of the goals of a site, one of the ways that we measure success and value from our efforts on a site is through that email list. How many names, how many leads are we collecting? First name, last name, email address. And the high unsubscribe rates, that's working backwards. That means they gave us their information at one time, they trusted us, and now we abuse that trust and we didn't provide what they thought they were going to get. So that's a big problem, and the solution is, of course, lead scoring. Now, a couple of stats from a Gartner survey: 70% of leads are not handled properly, and that would be exactly what goes into over here, where you simply drop everybody into the same email list. You get a high unsubscribe rate. Those people didn't get what they thought they were going to get, and that's a big problem. Leads are valuable, and to not handle them properly and have them turn around and go away is a big problem. Another study from HubSpot: 50% of leads of people who come to your site, fill out a form, give you their information, they're not ready to buy yet. They're simply looking for information. Now, it doesn't mean they're not going to be ready to buy 2, 3, 4, 6 months down the road. They're very valuable profiles to collect on the site, but they're simply not ready to buy today, so bombarding them with a sales message isn't appropriate. So what we do is we bring on a tool called lead scoring, where we can begin to profile these people so we can market to them correctly based on their demographic and also their behavioral characteristics. And what feeds that profile is explicit data, information they provide on your website through forms, such as age, gender, and location, which will help you segment out. We only want the people within our location, within our local area here, are the ones we want to try and sell to. We don't necessarily want to ignore people abroad because they can create links to our site, they can create buzz about us on the internet. They're still valuable, but they're not likely to buy. They're a different type of user. So we don't want to ignore them, but we want to treat each of them uniquely so that we're marketing effectively. And oftentimes we segment based on, like I said, age, gender, location, and other data that's appropriate for your clinic. And then we also have implicit data. Now, this is more of the behavioral data. It's information on the profile of a person we can gather based on how they interact with your brand, how they're interacting with your website and your brand in person in the offline world. What that means a lot of times is email interactions. How have they responded to the last emails you've sent? Are they clicking through? And when they do click through, what are they clicking onto in that visit? What do their website visits look like? The user who's ready to buy is often coming back to your product services page day after day after day, looking at the pricing, getting ready to make that decision. That's a key indicator that someone's ready to purchase, and they should be handled appropriately. What forms have been completed on the site, and what information have they provided? Was it valid information, or did they enter a fake name or a fake email address? Those are also indicators that they're of the state of readiness to buy of the user. Have they watched any of your videos? And then also offline data, such as did they come to your open house? Have they been in for a visit? Have they interacted in the offline world? Have they called in? All that data we want to compile and put into a score so we can let the cream of the leads float to the top and not ignore the bulk of the leads down here, but we really want to nurture the top leads to get them to buy, and that's how we get more effective return on investment. And so what happens through all this is we move our leads into two categories, what we call marketing qualified lead and a sales qualified lead. Now, a marketing qualified lead is primarily looking for information. They're in the educational stage of buying. They simply have a good idea or an idea that they want to pursue, and they're looking for information. Now, you can, if you provide the right information on your site, you can be that educational resource and nurture them along the buying process to your products and services. When you look at search traffic online, you see that there is all kinds of search for people wanting to get educated on procedures today. The whole idea of the e-patient is all education online. When a doctor tells them they need something, they go online to confirm it, to review it, to see what other people have done. Education online is huge, and if you can provide that information, it's a step in the right direction for you being there to fulfill the sale. So marketing qualified lead, they're looking for info. They're primarily a shopper. They're trying to find out, is this something I need, and then where's the best place to get it done if it is something I need. And so the message to them is primarily educational. Now, it doesn't mean we have to totally ignore the sales component to a message, but our message for them to find value in it needs to be providing education as the primary component and not necessarily promotion. Then we move into the sales qualified lead, which would be a step up from the marketing qualified lead. So the users generally come in at this level. This is where they've provided a name, a first name, last name, email address, and we begin marketing to them. And we see that they're looking for education, so we continue to provide educational material. But then at some point, they move into a sales qualified lead by an action they took. Maybe they started visiting your pricing page more, or they filled out a contact us form or a request for consult form. And that moved them up to the sales qualified lead position. Now we know they're a little closer to buying. A sales qualified lead is looking to purchase. So now it's time to set up your differentiators as the primary message. Why purchase from you? They're ready to buy. They might just need a little nudge, a little incentive, maybe a coupon, a discount, any type of promotion, just to get them to move so that they come in. And here the message is primarily promotional. This is where we want to nudge them along to help them make that decision on why purchase from you. Now, the tools that go into this are highly complex, but a good tool makes all this data easy for you to use and easy for an agency to use, so that you can actually start to segment your list out by these groups and market to them individually, so that you can improve this ROI and start to reduce these high unsubscribe rates and start getting more out of that email list that you worked so hard to build.